Hello friends, in series of Ascendant today I'll be discussing about the native having Scorpio as their ascendant or Lagna or so-called rising sign in their birth chart or Kundali. To know your ascendant, please watch my introductory ascendant video. So let's say you've got your horoscope and you have found that in the first house, which is what I'm showing on the screen, you have got number 8, which essentially means you you are a Scorpio ascendant. So in Kundali, there are 12 houses and each house represent different aspect of life. But the first house is considered as the most important house because it defines the personality and characteristics of the native. So, as you would notice, where we in astrology we have 9 planets, but I have not shown any planets in here, which essentially means whatever I will discuss today will not tell you how good or bad certain aspect of life would be, but it still will give you a definite overall idea of the native born with Scorpio as their ascendant. So, keeping that in mind, let's move on. And some of the famous personalities who have got Scorpio as their ascendant uh, or Lagna are Mr. Narendra Modi, Preeti Patel, Sanjay Dutt, Lucky Ali, the famous singer, and Osama bin Laden. They all have Scorpio as their ascendant. Let's understand more about the Scorpio zodiac sign. So Mars had been assigned as the ruler of Scorpio zodiac sign. The water is assigned as the element. It's a feminine sign, fixed nature with Brahmin as their caste. It rules the eighth house of moksha, and the body part really represents it the hidden part, which could be the reproductive organs or the hip. So let's understand the symbol. The symbol assigned to Scorpio is of a Scorpio itself. What does really Scorpio signifies? It signifies they are the people who will operate secretly. And as you can see, a Scorpio have kind of, if you see Scorpio's hand, these people will also likely have curly and thick hair. They are quite attractive and brave. Reason being, Mars being a fiery planet and zodiac sign being water. So when fire and water they mix together, they make an individual very attractive and also brave. So Mars is the one which really makes the person brave. They could potentially have brown eyes, and then because of their Mars being the ruler, they have the tendency to control others. So they will try to really, with their knowledge, try to influence others' thinking. The knowledge aspect comes from its caste, which is Brahmin. They are the one who would love sharing their knowledge to control others. In terms of they will also have hiding tendency. Reason being, eighth house is the house of secrecy. So that's why they would be very good in hiding things, and that's their inherent nature. Then eighth house also is a house of obstacles and miseries and crisis. So they are the one who face a lot of obstacles, miseries, and crisis in life. They are highly intelligent people, but but sometimes you might find some, if the planets are not well placed, they could be cunning, and on occasions they could have negative thinking. Let's look at different aspect of life from their chart. So the second house, which is house of family and wealth, so they consider their knowledge as their wealth, and they are the one who would love talking about the dharma with others, and they will be like the glue in the family. Okay, and also because of being a moksha driven, they like to be more independent when even when it comes to the financial side. Uh, the third house, which is ruled by Capricorn, which essentially is Saturn. So their sibling could be harsh towards them. Fourth house, which really represents home and mother. So that's where they could also potentially have some strictness, or and that they puts stress to them. They don't like the home environment. Um, then when it comes to the fifth house, which is house of children, love affairs and all, so their children's house is ruled by Pisces, which essentially in Kalpurus is the house of loss and expenses. So they will need to expend a lot of their energy on their children, um, to keep to satisfy their children's need. They will have to spend a lot of energy. When it comes to even their love affairs and hate, that's where also they will have to put a lot of energy. Interesting thing is the sixth house, which is ruled by Mars, Aries. Okay, so that makes them very active, and they are the people who love competition and they love taking risk. They that also makes the Martian energy also makes them uh, very self. They are the people who are self-made and very loyal. They don't like routine work. When it comes to the seventh house, house of spouse and partner, that's is ruled by Venus, and Venus is the only planet which is functional malefic and rules the 12th house as well. So this is one area where they could suffer some relationship related issue, Venus being functional malefic. And also because Venus rules the 12th house, they could have partner from outside of their community. Um, let's look at the eighth house. So eighth house being ruled by Gemini, which is again a house of hobby, and this is what Gemini makes the native who would really want who starts loving crisis, and they are the one who can't really stay very stable, so they will face crisis, but it will just become more like a routine thing uh, in their life. Again, it depends how Mercury is placed in their chart. In terms of the ninth house, which is ruled by moon, which this is the reason why they have to travel a lot, so they have to move their house from one location to another. Now ninth house is the house of foreign lands, so they could potentially travel to different foreign places and will need to move home from one place to another. 10th house ruled by sun, so that shows they are very proud of whatever they do, and their fifth son also rules their father, which shows their father could be somebody who might be working in a government organization. 11th house ruled by Mercury, again they will have very intelligent friends, and then the native gets influence from their friends very easily because of Virgo ruling their 11th house. So as you might see, because of all the hardship from their sibling, their family, their children, and their parents, these natives often you will see they become very harsh and very tough later in their life, and they start following the principle of tit for tat. So let's see about their profession. So Mars being the ruler of Lagna, but they could be somebody working in medical field. They could also be a surgeon who might be working in A&E department because of the eighth house. Then sun ruling the 10th house could also mean they could work in a government organization. Also Mars being the ruler of territory, so they could be somebody who could be a politician. And because of eighth, the Scorpio being the eighth house of mysteries and hidden things, they could be somebody who could be who could be an astrologer or any other mystical subjects. Could be somebody in be a drug dealer, or also would be in a in our organization dealing with weapons, warriors, or spies. In terms of their weakness, they like to find solution using shortcut. Again, because they get so they really get exhausted with their routine job, so they just want shortcuts so that they can kind of relax themselves. They are the one who would normally finish work at last minute. They could face some issue with their reproductive organ because of the fact that Venus rules their seventh house, which is a Marka house. Um, Obsessive sides of Mars. This is something. So Mars has got rulership of Aries and Scorpio, because this energy is very kind of obsessive and intense. So this essentially makes like person could get sudden burst of anger on occasions. They have constant battle inside them because of, again, the same reason, the hardship they face. They are obsessed about their love and hate. So if they love someone, they would be very that would be very intense, and even if they hate, that also would be very intense. So hope this has given some insight of an Scorpio ascendant. So thank you everyone for watching my video. See you in the next video.